So I want to discuss today is overall health. So when most people are going and we're talking about health, the first things that they're going to is physical health and diet. And those we tend to focus everything around just those areas. While they are important and can do a lot, there are other areas as well that can make a massive difference in your overall health. You shouldn't only be focusing on just your diet and your physical. So when we're looking at overall health, some people, before anything else is taking place, we have to look at the mental emotional. This is looking at our perceptions, looking at trauma factors. These things are what drive our behaviors. So when we get in and we work through the perceptions, the mental emotional, the things that we're resistant to, the habits we've been taught by our parents and our grandparents, the things that we use as a crutch to avoid dealing with certain traumas or habits, comforts. If we want to be able to fully change these, we have to challenge the perceptions that we were taught and we have used throughout our life. Now, as we get older, this is a lot more difficult than when we do this in our younger years. So the younger you are and the more you take time to do this, the better you are. In my office, for the patients that come to see me, I have tools that I use to help with this perception reframing and to help to see if that's where we need to start. But oftentimes, even if that's not your main issue, we want to take time to challenge that and to look at our traumas, our perceptions. That is giving us an understanding of why we do the habits we do. So we want to deal with that as part of our overall health, because your brain and what we are telling ourselves, even with people who have chronic illness. I am deep diving into this, into my studies lately, and trying to help my patients have chronic illness factors. That when we have chronic illness, we oftentimes have associated with a feeling that we're having to a specific issue. And not always are those actually connected, but when we tell ourselves that, it's driving us in how we respond to it. It's driving us in our panic. It can activate our immune system and keep us on high alert, and this really can impact a lot of things. So certain things that you can there are easy certain things you can do in the comfort of your own home to process that. And they're easy habits. A lot of people consider some of these things like more of a woo-woo factor, but they do have an impact of challenging the perceptions and helping us motivate and work through. There's a lot of things that you can do out there. Reiki work, you can do hypnotherapy. The EVOX is one thing that I use in my office to help people with the mental emotional, not to mention guiding them through habits that they can start doing. I've seen people do the emotional training where they're going just to therapy. There's several of aspects within therapy you can do, which is talk therapy. There's combinations of things you can do with talk therapy to help move you through some of those things, but you do want to get into these things as part of that. Realize your mental emotional state often impacts your microbiome itself and the gut bacteria in the small intestine. So candida specifically is often hand in hand with stressors. So if you're someone who deals with a lot of stress factors and you have a lot of bacterial imbalance, that is a great place to go in and start. So not only to mention that, when we're looking at we want to be nourishing and supporting our overall organs, not just forcing them to work or taking medications to shut them down. The whole overall nutrition and how each area is working. Our skin, our nasal health, our throat health, our oral health in our mouth, they all impact gut health and can house bacterial aspects in the body and that are re-putting bacteria back in there. So there are nasal sprays to do. There's even just mouth breathing, shifting more to the nasal breathing can do massive things to help with that nasal health. These are all, again, simple techniques that you can apply throughout the day. You don't have to do them all day, but being conscious and applying things to focus on getting that nasal health. Using better products with our oral health, using more holistic products, We do not want to be sterilizing our oral health. There are bacteria in there that are doing purpose as well. And we can have a lot of release of heavy metals and such through the mouth. What we're drinking, what we're eating is impacting that oral health. What we allow sit in our mouth can impact that. If you're doing an abundance of fluorides, you're neutralizing a lot of things in there. So they're looking at and using better quality products, things that are helping to actually build the enamel, doing oil pulling, doing holistic toothpaste or mouth rinses can make a big difference. There are some good holistic nasal sprays as well. There's even a throat coat that you can do to help with the throat, sinuses, back of the throat. And for people who have a lot of tonsil adenoid issues, your body's telling you something, and oftentimes we switch to just shutting these things down. So we want to make sure that. And your environment, everything in your environment can make a big difference. If you're using an abundance of cleaning chemicals or sprays that have a lot of chemicals in them, perfumes, things that you're applying to your body, these things all impact your overall health and can either push you towards health and wellness or push you away. I know a lot of people struggle. They have their favorite perfumes, their favorite lotions, and they want to be able to use these things. But there is usually a quality, natural way that you can have some of these things that smell good and that are good for you, that are not damaging you. But if you're someone who has problems with your skin, you have issues of melanomas, different things like that, you really want to pay attention to what you're putting on your skin, and even how you're taking care of your internal skin, which is that bacteria. Even within just dusting your home can make a big difference in your environmental health. What you're sucking in through nasals, switching out things within the furnace, these are all things that can help improve your nasal health. Better products. I always tell people to use the EWG Healthy Living. They do a lot of testing and knowing the chemicals, and will show you even a quality product to use or what's in your current products that may be impacting you, so you can be aware. No, you cannot change everything overnight, but these are things that we can do. And a lot of us are just going and forcing the body to do something, pushing a ton of working out, pushing a ton of drastic extreme diets, which end up with a yo-yo factor. The diet that will apply to you can be very specific to you and what you're dealing with. Blood sugar handling, body being able to rebuild, a weak immune system. These things can all have a variant of diets that are specific to you, which are things that I review over with patients and where to focus, things to add in, and diets. When we're looking in our environment, one of the biggest things are the chemicals. So you're looking through sprays and things you're using to clean, and then you're also having a lot of mold factors are a big thing, because sheetrock holds on to mold. If you have a leak in the basement, if you have a laundry room that's having leaks, if you got a furnace area that's having leaks, if you have a bathroom where the moisture's not getting moved around, all those areas can house mold. And you want to check for those things and be able to help remove them, because those can cause a lot of issues within the body itself. And a lot of you will have sensitivities to mold when you go in, histamine response, a lot of those different things. So helping to remove them from your environment is your first step, and then allowing and helping the body to get rid of them, not just taking an abundance of histamines all the time, because you're shutting down a system that's trying to protect you. And when this comes down to a lot of our health factors, most of them are things that the body is trying to talk to you on and tell you what's going on, and you will take stuff and just shut it down. If we're having pain and inflammation, the body's talking to you, it's telling you there's something's wrong, it's not getting the nourishment it needs, there's something that's aggravating the system, you need to help assist it to remove the things. But most of us will just take a pain medication. Digestion, that's telling you your bacteria or somewhere along that digestive line, there's something not working appropriately, and we should be assisting that. If you are working out and your digestion is struggling, all you're doing is breaking down your body. You are not helping it to be healthier. You're just breaking things down. So you need to be able to make sure you're getting the digestion and the nourishment in. If you're someone who has a really struggle of breaking bad habits, you really need to dive in to the perceptions behind those habits, to any trauma factors, perceptions you've been taught by other people, comforts, and why you need to lean on those things. Those are all things you're going to want to. So the mental, emotional, oftentimes, again, it goes hand in hand with that. You're going to want to support that. You're going to want to go into this. You don't have to do all these things at once. However, if you're someone who's working out and it's just not working for you, and you've got a lot of mental, emotional, that is something you're going to want to turn and dig into that, and then try again with the fitness side of things. If diet and you really keep struggling with sticking to something, and you keep going back to negative, again, mental, emotional, you want to dig into that. If you're can't breathe, you're not sleeping. Sleeping is another big factor of overall health. Sleeping should be mastered, and diet, before we're really pushing ourselves into heavy workouts and all these things. If you're really looking to optimize your health and get into better shape, you can do them without that, but you're usually causing more negative health factors than positive. So those are areas that you're going to want to look in. So health consists of an abundance of things other than just exercise and diet. And there are many places you can start. And I recommend that you sit down and kind of write out, where you feel the biggest things that you come up with every day. If going and working out isn't hard for you, but dealing with your emotions is really hard, then yeah, you should probably look into some different things that you can do to support that mental, emotional. Now, there's no doubt that working out and having a good diet will help all those things, but you're going to want to include something along the lines that helps you to work through those. And when I'm doing my nutrition, I'm looking at where those things go in order, because for every person, that order can be very different. Granted, again, you can do a physical and nutrition, and it will help bring along the mental, emotional, but it's only going to get you so far until you need to dig into those things. If you're in a environment that is toxic and it's filled with tons of chemicals and molds, or just negative things in the environment that are throwing your nervous system off and impacting the body and how it functions, if you don't address that at some point in time, that is going to be something you're going to have to deal with. If you're someone who just can't sleep, yes, getting up and exercising helps you to switch the nervous system, but there's other things you can do, and you should be focused in on what's going to help maximize your sleep and get you into a better place for sleep. There can be an array of different things, and some of that can be mental, emotional, some of that can be environment, some of that can be a lack of nutrients. So going to someone like me is going to help you focus in on those areas and then dive into other things we can do while we're always nourishing the body and supporting good digestion as well. So the whole point I wanted to make is that I feel like we all hone in on exercise most of the time and how we just need to work out because we all feel that's where we fell. There is a variety of things that need to be dealt with alongside of that as well, and that we need to take an equal look at all these things and get to the overall health. And when we master one thing, keep it going and then start integrating other things. This is what gets you to the optimal health and be able to get into the state you wanted to get. So hopefully this helps. If you guys need any help with tools or whatnot, you can go and do the health survey, which gives me understanding the nervous system, digestion, detoxifying, and things like that I can help guide you as a starting point. And I can also make recommendations of supplements and things based on what I'm seeing. Or you can go and make an appointment and come in and I can do the scan, which gives me more in-depth information. And we look at the digestion, how we're nourishing, and where the major stress points are starting with. So I hope this has helped a lot. You guys have a great day.